A reminder of our breaking news this hour. There have been two large earthquakes in central Myanmar. The first recorded at 06:20 GMT with a magnitude of 7.7. 10 minutes later, an aftershock with a magnitude of 6.4 was recorded. Both were near Mandalay. Tremors have also been reported more than 1,000 miles away in Thailand and China. These are the latest pictures coming into us from Myanmar. We can see damage there to a main road, quite substantial damage. We haven't yet got reports of any casualties. I'm going to bring in Nikki Schiller, who's with me here. So, Nikki, we're seeing those pictures. They're kind of roads broken up, but so far we haven't got much of an indication of the impact of this.
No, absolutely. We know that this tremor, the epicentre, was in a city in Burma called Sagaing in Mandalay in Myanmar, the Burmese city there. It is about 100 kilometres north of the capital, Naypyidaw. And as you said, this was a 7.7 magnitude earthquake. And it struck at 12:50 local time, so in the afternoon, about 6:50 GMT. And it was a shallow earthquake, so it was about 10 kilometres is what they describe as shallow. And these tremors were felt across the region in China and Thailand. We've seen footage on social media in Bangkok of people gathering in the streets. And I'm just seeing the AFP news agency is reporting that at least 43 workers are trapped in a Bangkok skyscraper collapse. That coming in on both the AFP and the Reuters news agency at the moment. And we have seen pictures from Bangkok of buildings shaking. There's one particular video that shows a big skyscraper that has a swimming pool on the top, and the water is pouring over the side like a waterfall because of the tremors that have come from there. So Bangkok, people have been gathering in the streets. We can see that there are live pictures. And of course, a lot of the buildings in Bangkok are these high-rise buildings. So this would have been around lunchtime. So people have come out onto the streets, which is the pictures that we're seeing there. And
as you mentioned just there, this latest line coming into us from Reuters that at least 43 workers are trapped in a Bangkok skyscraper which has collapsed. It's always the way with earthquakes is you get an initial report of the scale of it, but also then you start getting in the impact where the buildings have collapsed and people are trapped. So at the moment, 43 workers trapped in a building which has collapsed in Bangkok. That's according to medics in the city. And of course, Bangkok hugely built up, lots and lots of skyscrapers.
Of course, and this area, people are used to the threat of having an earthquake, so they will be drilled into getting out of the building and onto the roads, which is why we see all of those people who are now outside, because they understand they need to get out of the buildings. But as you were saying, there is these reports of 43 workers trapped in one of those skyscrapers that has collapsed. In Myanmar itself, we've seen pictures near Mandalay, which is near where the epicentre was, of a large bridge that has collapsed into the Irrawaddy River. And of course, social media will be a lot better in around Bangkok, so that's why we're getting a lot of the pictures out of that area. But of course, it's a lot harder to get the information out of Myanmar, so it will take a while for us to get some of the more pictures from the actual epicentre. And of course, as we were saying, this is 100 kilometres north of the capital, Naypyidaw, so it's not like it is in the built-up area of the capital, but near the city of Mandalay, which some people may know the name of. As I was saying, 7.7, the US Geological Survey saying this is a large earthquake on the scales of earthquakes. And also the fact that it was shallow, just 10 kilometres deep, that will also impact the amount of damage that we'll see. But as we can see, the people in Bangkok are out on the streets. And as I said, they are used to this, the residents of the Thai capital. But we've seen the pictures of the water splashing from the swimming pools. The government also holding an emergency meeting to decide what to do at the moment.
Just one other line that's come to us. I mean, we're not clear whether it's the same building they're talking about, but AFP, the French news agency, is reporting that it was a building which was being built of 30 stories that has collapsed in Bangkok. So it's not clear at the moment whether we're talking about two separate buildings, whether there's the one where the 43 workers are are trapped, or whether this is a separate building. It's likely probably to be the same building, I would imagine. If they're described as workers, it's likely they're construction workers.
Absolutely,
involved
and
in
of
that
course,
project.
the buildings, once they're built, will have in earthquake protection in a lot of these areas. They will be designed to withstand an earthquake, but if a building is being built, then it may not have that, and of course the structures around it wouldn't be as strong to be able to withstand the earthquake. Our team in Bangkok, there is of course a BBC base in Bangkok, they are reporting feeling those buildings swaying, and they are people into the streets, and we will get our team, as we said, we have a team in Bangkok, they're getting out. They say the shaking was dizzying, which will give you a sense of just how strong the tremors were felt in Bangkok. And as we said, we have seen the pictures of this water, and it's a real visual sign of just how strong the tremors were. A swimming pool on top of one of these skyscrapers, and the water is now coming over the side of that skyscraper down as if it was like a waterfall, just giving you a sense of how strong it is. As I said, the government in Thailand holding an emergency meeting, and you can imagine in Myanmar itself there will be now an operation to try and get emergency services to the epicentre, which, as I say, is in the northwest of the country in a city called Sagaing, which is near the city of Mandalay, and that about 100 kilometres north of the capital, Naypyidaw. We have had reports from AFP journalists who are in Naypyidaw, the capital, where they said roads are buckled by the force of the tremors and chunks fell from ceilings. And we've seen those pictures of some damage on the roads in Myanmar. You can see them on the screen at the moment there. There is damage on the roads. That would tie in with what the AFP journalists are saying, that they've seen roads in Naypyidaw that are buckled by the force of the tremors.
We've got those shots now at the moment, actually. Yeah. We were just looking at. In fact, this we're not quite sure at the moment. We'll let you know where these pictures are coming into us, but that does look like a collapsed building at what looked like a construction site there. So these could be the pictures coming into us from Bangkok, but we're not sure yet. So, well, in fact, now they've gone to black inevitably.
This is always the case in these situations. We will start getting a lot of pictures in as the news agencies get their cameras, and we'll, as the BBC, get cameras there. So details will come in, but we do know 7.7 magnitude earthquake.